For my second Chilling Reign deck, we have Trevenant and Dusknoir with Cresselia. Trevnoir has always been a great card, but the awkward attack cost of 3 Psychic Energy kept it from being dominant in Standard. With the addition of Cresselia, though, it is now a major threat. Finishing in second in the first online Chilling Reign tournament, this deck uses Cresselia's Crescent Glow to accelerate 3 energy on turn 1 if you go second. Unlike Volcanion, which did pretty much the same thing for fire energy, you can't spread the energy around, so you have to put it all on one Trevnoir, which can be a bit risky. That being said, the deck is extremely consistent and it has a lot of tools at its disposal. For starters, the brand new Fog Crystal, let's see if I can find it, there it is. The brand new Fog Crystal, you can search your deck for a basic energy card or a basic Pokemon of the Psychic variety, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. The Horror Psychic Energy, although it's a Psychic Energy, it doesn't become a Psychic Energy until you attach it, so it really only gets you a basic Psychic Energy, but still, this is an insanely good card, and it's going to see a lot more play than Netball ever saw. In terms of supporters, I'd say the big one here is Green's Exploration, which only works if you have no Pokemon with abilities in play. Then you just get to search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So obviously, you'll start out the game with a Pokemon, and odds are you'll start with Cresselia because you have 4, and then you use Greens, you'll get a Fog Crystal to get your Trevnoir, and then just maybe 2 Fog Crystal. Really, you have a ton of options, but you always want to go second. The reason you want to go second is because Crescent Glow only activates on that second turn going first. If you go first, it is not an auto loss with this deck by any means. Your life just gets a lot more difficult. And while I did take just the second place list in that tournament, it's very similar to what I was planning on using, with the biggest difference being this one copy of Marshadow. It is an extreme risk. Since Marshadow has an ability, if you start this Pokemon, then Greens is useless. But if you don't, this is your only shot at removing a Chaotic Swell, so then you can put down your Path to the Peak, you play 4 copies because it is great, and Pokemon with a rule box have no abilities, so that shuts off your opponent's Dedenne and Crobat so they can't draw themselves out of a Night Watch. And I don't think I really focused on Night Watch, so for those who don't know, Night Watch does 150 damage, it's a bit low, but you choose 2 random cards from your opponent's hand, and they shuffle them back into their deck. Your opponent's going to have 0 and 1 and 2 card hands quite often. And then you have things like Crushing Hammer, 4 copies of that, 2 Fan of Waves. You just get rid of energy. There's even a copy of Flannery to get rid of a Stadium and a Special Energy. The deck is consistent. You just want to go second. If you go first, things are bad. So let's go second. Let's see what happens. All right, so I won the coin flip. 100 times out of 100, you go second with this deck. You will mulligan a lot, but this would have been... If that Fan of Waves was a Cresselia, this would have been literally the perfect starting hand. You had 2 greens, you have a Marnie. It would have been absolutely perfect, but I mulligan a lot with this deck. There's only 8 Pokemon. You mulligan a lot. And this is a potentially horrible starting hand. You know, the only reason you'd want to go first with this deck is to get Path to the Peak out, but... I mean, your opponent could just have the Chaotic Swell and then it's bad. Oh, okay, so this is an interesting matchup. The Dragapult won't really... it'll have to 2-shot me. I think I have to at least... Okay, they didn't get an energy down, so that's perfect. And I'll get the Pokégear give me a greens. That is perfect. So I just need Fog Crystal, and then hopefully they Marnie me. So I will do, Fog Crystal. That gets me Trevenant Dusknoir and the energy. Unfortunately, I have nothing going for the turn after, so I just have to hope for a Marnie. I do have 3 Crushing Hammer, so if I have to manually retreat, then that'll be fine. That's another problem that I noticed with this deck, is that if you prize some energy, you're in big trouble. So I'll just get 1 energy, so you play a very thin line of energy, and if you prize 2 like I just did, then you're only using Crescent Glow once in this game. You don't play Ordinary Rod, you don't play Energy Recycler, you don't play anything like that. So it's just a case of, do you get it? Do you prize everything you need? And unfortunately, like I said in the intro, you can't attach Horror Psychic Energy with Crescent Glow or get it with Fog Crystal, so that's really tough. And that is really good for me. There's another Fog Crystal, so I guess I just... I'll just Fog Crystal, go get another Trevenant Dusknoir. I don't know if I want to bench it because they might have bosses in their hand and they might just try a boss and trap. So if I hadn't just prized everything I need, I'll bring that guy up. We'll get rid of some of their stuff. Yeah, I guess I will try a Crushing Hammer. Nope. Let's try another Crushing Hammer. Nope. Let's try another Crushing Hammer. Wow, 0 for 3. And they just stoop. Okay, so, I mean, the deck is insane. Let's see. Did they have... Yeah, they had Dedenne. They had Eldegoss. They had Crobat. So my Path to the Peak just shut them out of all of that. They couldn't do anything. They could have had a Quick Ball, and it wouldn't have done anything. They could have had a Crobat. They could have had Dedenne. So that's just the power of the deck. I think it's hilarious that I go 0 for 3 on Crushing Hammer and they stoop, but that's just the power of the deck. It can shut off your opponent right off the bat. So let's go to game 2, and hopefully I get to go second again. All right, that's a coin flip win. I chose to go second. Great starting hand. I can Crushing Hammer if they put an energy down. Are they playing Blissey? This would be hilarious if they were playing Blissey because... Oh yeah, they're 100% playing Blissey. So that is really cool. I will use this opportunity to mention that I did film a Porygon Z Blissey V video yesterday. It went really well, and I actually ended the video with a match against Blissey Welder, and that was a lot of fun. The problem is that the deck is inconsistent. I think it's more of a tier 2 than anything. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I will Crushing Hammer that energy. I will Crushing Hammer that energy. There we go. Okay, so greens for... Because I have the Pokégear, so I just have to assume that I'm going to get everything I need. So I'll Fog Crystal and Path to the Peak. And this should hopefully just win me the game. So Path to the Peak goes down. I remember that in my build, I played 1 copy of Chaotic Swell just for this scenario. So hopefully they don't play Chaotic Swell or they don't play Marshadow. But yeah, I filmed it. It's quite inconsistent. I think maybe it's tier 2, but lower on the scale. But when I went to edit the video, the audio was all screwed up, so I had to scrap the entire thing. I won't be refilming it. I just wanted to skip ahead to Trevenant Dusknoir because it did so well. I've completely redone all of my settings for audio. Hopefully this turns out better. Okie dokie. And the cool thing is you get to attach 3 energy from your discard pile. So what I might do is I might use Pale Moon GX. Because they can do some big damage to me. But they can't knock me out, so I'm not too concerned. So I get another Trevnoir. I think Guzma Hala is probably the best bet. Or no, Cynthia and Caitlin, so then I can get her greens. But yeah, I've messed around with the audio settings. Hopefully I've improved everything. Yeah, Cynthia and Caitlin, get rid of a Marnie. And then just see where I'm at after this. Okay. And I would definitely get rid of the powerful colorless energy. So you're going down. Maybe I should have grabbed the Guzma Hala if I think they're going to just have a crazy turn. Okay, so do I get rid of Lucky Energy? They get to draw a card. Or do I get rid of Powerful Colorless Energy because it does 20 extra damage? I think I get rid of Lucky Energy because they might not have anything going on in their hand. And if I Pale Moon them, the recycle energy is just going to go back into their hand, so that's not a big deal. Lucky Energy and Quick Ball. I mean, cool. So what I think I'll do is I'll greens for the Experience Share. That's a very important card. Probably Experience Share and Blissful Blast. So they're not taking a knockout. You're just seeing this deck in action. Like, I don't even need to say anything. Just look at how much control this deck has. Or Psychic Energy, Greens Exploration. Obviously, I could have gone for, pretty much anything. We get the Experience Share. I have supporters for next turn. Is there anything else that I want? They don't really have any tools that I want to scrap. I could get Switch. I could get Pokégear. I think I do Fan of Waves. And then I put the powerful energy on the bottom of their deck. Just that way it's even tougher for them to have anything going on. So then there's Night Watch. And just Path to the Peak is insane. Yeah, see, the Dedenne, they couldn't even use Dedenne because I had Path to the Peak. Their hand is just energy. You know, I think... Actually, now that I think about it, I should have grabbed a boss's orders. But they're just going to attack anyway. They're not going to take a knockout. This one's going to have all the Horror Psychic energies on it. And so what I think I'll do is, I think I will Mallow and Lana, just because that way, doing 150. Well, there's bosses. Oh man, this is a tough choice here. So if I Fog Crystal for anybody, if I switch into it with Mallow and Lana, I think I will use Mallow and Lana. So I will get rid of that and that. Switch into this guy, so that way they're not taking a prize. I could use Pale Moon GX just to get rid of all their energy, and I think that is what I will do. I'll use Pale Moon GX. All their energy is in the discard pile. I didn't hit into them, so they can't use... Yeah, there you go. That's how insane this deck is. I shut off their abilities with Path to the Peak, and then I use Pale Moon GX. At the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon is knocked out. If you have 3 energy on this thing, discard all energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. I knew they just had Recycle energy in their hand. So it was just, get rid of all their energy, don't let them draw any cards. The thing has a 4 retreat cost. So yeah, they were using the Porygon build. I like it. Yeah, 1/1 of each. They had the Cramorant. Pretty much standard. I didn't like Lucky Energy. I prefer Draw Energy, just because Draw Energy is a guaranteed draw. Yeah, 4 Recycle, 4 Capture. Do they have 4 capture? They have 3. So, I mean, Blissey's fun. Give it a shot if you want. It's only like a pack right now of Chilling Reign, so it's pretty cheap. But yeah, let's go to the next game. This deck is insane. I lost the coin flip, but my opponent decided to go first. And believe it or not, the first deck I ever played against with Trevnoir was Ice Rider Calyrex. I can't remember. Yeah, it was just 4 Ice Rider, 4 Cinccino. And I still somehow managed to win. Okay, do they not play the Cinccino line? Because... Path to the Peak is not good for my opponent's deck if they're playing things like Crobat. Okay, well they have a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, okay, this is interesting. So I will mention that the deck I'm playing, it lost in the finals to Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So this isn't the best deck. Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX is definitely the best deck in the format right now. So yeah, I'll go get Trevnoir. Hey, lots of energies in the deck. You'll love to see it. Put that down. I'll save the Horror Psychic energy. I will use Fog Crystal. Actually, do I save it? Because if they hit into me, then that'll put 20 damage on it, and then that'll put me in a position for a knockout. So I think it's actually smarter to put the Horror Psychic energy on the Cresselia and then just hope that they hit into Cresselia. Do I Marnie them, though? They didn't... I don't think it's worth it, but what do I want to do next turn? They can't knock me out unless they get an Inteleon. They only have a 3-card hand. They don't have Jirachi in the active. I think I just have to go for it. But yeah, Trevnoir lost in the finals to Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, which is easily the best Chilling Reign deck, as many people expected. It accelerates energy. It's able to overcome the darkness weakness thanks to Galarian Zapdos V, which one-shots Eternatus VMAX for potentially a single energy. I'll try to cover the deck next. So stay tuned for that, but I guarantee you'll be seeing a lot of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX over the next 2 years. Again, I'll try to cover it, but the VMAX is going for 70 to 80 Battle Styles packs each right now, and the V is around 30 to 40. So it is not easy to get your hands on this, but I checked the Sunday Open, that big tournament. It was 3 out of the top 4 decks with Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So the deck is insane, and you're seeing right now. They're hitting into me. They're going to 300 HP left. So I'm in 2-shot territory. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. I was actually just going to go grab a Crushing Hammer with Green's Exploration, and now I don't need to. So Green's Exploration for... I guess Fog Crystal. Oh, should I be greedy here? Because Experience Share isn't really worth it if, I mean, it's just going to get knocked out anyway. So I think I go for I mean, I don't really want bosses, Fan of Waves. I think just go for Marnie, and Path to the Peak is down, so that's great. I think just Fog Crystal and Marnie. I think that's the safe bet here. And I'll probably keep that Cresselia from going down just to be safe. Then we have an Energy going down. And Night Watch, and hopefully we get some good things out of their hand. And we got... Oh, so they're playing Path to the Peak. Okay, so Path to the Peak really isn't a big deal. But I think Ice Rider Calyrex, I think the best partner is Cinccino. You can use Level Ball to get both of them. You're not shut off by Path to the Peak. You ensure you have a good hand. I think the Inteleon line is just more unnecessary. Like, yes, it's more consistent in getting you, the cards you need because you just get to grab whatever you need. But Cinccino, both of them are searchable via Level Ball. That is great. So I think that's what you want to do. Fan of Waves, I think they might be playing one copy of Wash Energy. I would be playing a copy of Wash Energy if I was playing if I was playing Ice Rider. Wash Energy just eliminates secondary effects. So hopefully they have that and they attach it, and then I can use Fan of Waves to get rid of it. But I definitely need a Horror Psychic Energy, because as you saw, just taking 20 damage against my deck is enough to shut down Ice Rider Calyrex, because it turns a 3-shot into a 2-shot, so I need another Horror Psychic Energy. Deck only plays 3, so it could be a little bit tough. And yeah, there's the Drizzile. I don't know. I think Cinccino is better just in this situation. But I mean, the Inteleon, it depends which Inteleon. Okay, that's interesting. But they don't have a way to accelerate the energy, do they? It's just, they already used Melanie. They've used their supporter. Do they have a Scoop Up Net? They do. So their hand is 1 water energy. So they're going to have, whatever their top deck is what they have to rely on. They're not going to have abilities. So their top deck, this is the situation you want to put your opponent in. Their top deck is the only way they can win. I mean, I don't think it's time to use Marnie. I'm taking the knockout. They're relying on their top deck. Yes, they're going to have Jirachi. Yeah, so switch energy. Obviously, Jirachi is pretty big here, but I think starting them off slower is better for me because they're 2-shotting my Trevenant and Dusknoir. The only way they're not 2-shotting it is if this is the Inteleon that puts damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. If it is, then I'm kind of screwed, because they can just Melanie, attach, take a knockout. And if that happens, I guess I just go for double Crushing Hammer and then try and stamp them into nothing. But yeah, this is a bit tough. The Inteleon is good. It's just, it's an extra step, whereas Cinccino can turn your top deck into 2 cards, and then you can just build from there. And of course they just get Melanie, but this is not a water energy. You have to have 2 water energy to use the big attack on the Ice Rider Calyrex. So they'll be able to use Ride of the High Chain for 40 damage, and that takes a knockout. And they're not using the one, they're using the Aqua Bullet one. So I have a chance here. They're going to get Scoop Up Net or Switch. They're going to knock out my Trevenant and Dusknoir. They're going to Reset Stamp me. That's interesting. So they have the Switch. I have to Pale Moon them. It would have been, now I'm regretting my decision. This is nice, It's a bit of a longer game. It's not ADP where you just, okay, that's fine. So they're taking the knockout, 40 damage. I guess I have to Reset Stamp them. Okay, so Energy Retrieval. I go get 2 energy. I might just want to switch into Cresselia and force them to knock out Cresselia. Is that smarter or is that dumb? White greens. I'm going to just go for Switch Reset Stamp. Switch Reset Stamp. I have energy. I have plenty of energy. I have the bosses. So I think Switch Reset Stamp is the play here. Put the Cresselia down, attach to the Cresselia, switch, stamp, and then Crescent Glow to my Trevnoir. Another great thing about Cresselia is that it has a 1 retreat cost. That is amazing. Okay. So if they don't take a knockout this turn, then I'm fine. I do have to Night Watch them, but they're not playing the Inteleon that I'm worried about, so I should be okay. Oh man, they're gonna go for a bosses, I think. And that is, yeah, that's tough. So I'll definitely keep this match in here just to show you that, you know, it is winnable on either side. They got lucky. You know, I'm not gonna say, you know, they did good. They played better than me. They got lucky, they played better. Both things can be right. Yeah, so they didn't want to discard any energy. Can I even do anything? I think I just have to Pale Moon, and that's it, right? So yeah, just Pale Moon, and see if that wins me the game. So they have their top deck, and this, and whatever card was in their hand. So is that game for me, or is that game for them? That is a Capture Energy. I don't really know what they could get unless they have a Drizzile in their hand, but that wouldn't do anything. That game, oh man, this deck is insane. Even when you think it's gonna lose, it comes out and wins. You know, I think I got more lucky than my opponent in that match. Let's be real. I thought they were lucky. I got real lucky. I'll go to a 4th and final game. Pale Moon GX is turning out to be insane. Another coin flip win, another going second, another Blissey deck. So something I didn't mention is that if you start Cresselia and Trevenant Dusknoir in your hand, I think I'm going to actually lose this one if they get off to a good start. But if you start Trevenant and Dusknoir and Cresselia in your hand, only put Cresselia on the field because your opponent could play Escape Rope, get your Trevenant Dusknoir trapped in the active, then you can't use Crescent Glow. You don't have to worry about Pheromosa or Latios in Expanded and Standard. So only bench your Cresselia. That is the only Pokemon you want to put down on turn 1. You don't want to risk getting an Escape Rope and then having your Trevnoir in the active. I mean, yes, you could get Reset Stamped on turn 1. It's very unlikely. But you never want to bench more than a Cresselia on turn 1. That is... Oh, it's Whimsicott! Okay. This is going to be interesting. This is a great game to finish on because it's all going to come down to coin flips. Actually, no, it won't if I get past the peak down. So, wow, this is an insane start for me. I'll go get Trevenant Dusknoir and yeah, I guess just Trev. Hopefully they don't play Tool Scrapper. We got Experience Share, we got the Energy. I go get Path to the Peak. I go get, I mean, I have supporters. What do I even need? I guess I just get probably another greens, right? Path to the Peak and greens. Because that way, if they bump my Path to the Peak, then I can greens for a Fog Crystal and a Path to the Peak. So I think that's the right play. And another reason why Guzma Hala is really good is because it gets you your Path to the Peak, your Experience Share, or an Air Balloon if you need it, and your Horror Psychic Energy. So Guzma Hala is a great card to just have at any point. And I wonder if Shiny Diglett has realized that Path to the Peak shuts off their Whimsicott GX. Oh, and did they just have it like that? Wow. That's a good start. So they just had it like that. Digicharge can be a really good attack. Flip 3 coins, search your deck for an energy card. Oh, wow. Okay. Wait a minute. This isn't supposed to be hollow, and there's Wondrous Labyrinth. So that is exactly why I did that. Where's the hollow research from? That's pretty cool. Is it in one of the Inteleon VMAX lead battle decks or something? Because the one in the set is non-hollow if I'm not an idiot. Okay, so Green's Exploration. Let's go get Path to the Peak, and I guess just, oh yeah, another Greens. Same strategy. I'll knock out I'll knock out the Porygon. Do I want to just knock out the Porygon with Cresselia? Or do I retreat? I guess I just knocked it out with Cresselia. I do want to limit their hand, but I also kind of want to have this be a bit of a fun game. So I'll give them a chance. I'll leave it open. I won't just completely decimate their hand. I have the experience share down. You know, I'd play a little bit differently if the experience share wasn't there. And yeah, this is pretty much just exactly like a Psychic Volcanion. Crescent Glow is a little bit weaker in that you can't spread it around. Photon Laser requires 5 energy in play to do 120, but you know, it's pretty much just a slightly different Volcanion, but for Psychic types, and Psychic types are going to be insane for the next 2 years. I mean, right now we still have tag team Psychic Pokemon, so we have Danger and Mimikyu, we have Trevnoir, we have Mewtwo and Mew. The training tour definitely helped me. But this is why I've been just cycling through Green's Exploration, is I know the path to the peak is going to be extremely important here to shut off their Whimsicott. So I should probably play it a little bit safe here, because they're definitely running some stadiums in here, and that's a bit worrying. Because I only have 2 more Path to the Peak in the deck, but they're just airing it out. I have 2 Boss's Orders. I can't knock out a Dedenne or a Crobat, so that's a bit tough. I'm not going to feel bad for my opponent if they don't get a Whimsicott, because they had multiple chances to get a Whimsicott. You know, they used Pokemon Communication to get Dedenne and Pokemon Communication to get Crobat. They had a Whimsicott if they wanted it. And yeah, no, I'll definitely just Marnie them now. So there is that. Yeah, I think Marnie, and then I think it's time to Night Watch. So recycle energy would just go back into their hands. That's not a big deal. Yeah, crushing. No, I think I'll save the Crushing Hammer for when they put a Psychic Energy on that. Yeah, so we will Air Balloon to retreat. Night Watch. I'm not worried about them knocking me out. So Whimsicott, was that a Lucky Energy? Does Lucky Energy activate if Whimsicott flips heads? Well, I guess it does, because... Or does Lucky Energy only activate when it's damaged from an attack? I don't know. That'll be interesting. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so I can Pokégear and hopefully get her greens. I can Marnie into a switch. I can Pokégear for a Mallow and Lana maybe. So it's not over yet. There's a Marnie. Okay, well let's find out. Do I get Mallow and Lana? I got Mallow and Lana, so that's tough for them. We're just gonna do the same thing. Switch. There we go. Night Watch. There go two. Let me guess. Whimsicott and something. Pokemon Communication and a Fairy Energy. So they have Recycle Energy in their hand. And I guess a Supporter? Because that would be what I would get. But they got Pokemon Communication, so that makes me think they have a Pokemon in their hand. Okay, so they had Whimsicott. That's weird. So they top deck a Whimsicott. What's the... You know, they can't attack. So now it's just Path to the Peak time. Okay, so I could use Pale Moon GX, which would be pretty funny. But I will Pokégear for greens. Yep, here's Path to the Peak time. So, Path to the Peak. Let's just get Fan of Waves. No, I'll get my last greens. No, I'll get Guzma Hala. Greens is better. So, Path to the Peak. They have no abilities. I'm going to Night Watch them. They are in, I mean, you're seeing time after time how oppressive this deck is. Like, they're relying on their top deck every single turn. Whimsicott was once really good, but now Path to the Peak comes out and Fluffy Cotton is just gone. Fairy type Pokemon are leaving the Pokemon TCG in September. And they're not leaving on top of the world, that's for sure. They are leaving... kind of real sad here. And it confuses itself. I think they thought maybe it confuses me, so we're just gonna Night Watch. There we go. They just need to take 2 prizes. This is... I feel bad for fairy type Pokemon. You know, I know they're being phased out anyway from standard and they're not coming back. Meanwhile, dragon type Pokemon are coming back and they don't have a weakness. They just have dual energy attack costs. And that's a well play. I'm sorry your Whimsicott deck didn't work out, but Trevenant Dusknoir performed so well in this video. It just takes away your opponent's cards. You can shut off their abilities with Path to the Peak. As long as you go second, start Cresselia, and can get a Trevnoir on your bench, the deck is absolutely insane. Did they have any spice in their deck? They had a Blissey V. Blissey V is great for a tier 2 deck. I know. I'm kind of wishy-washy on it. They had a Clara. That's interesting. Isn't Clara just basic energy, or is it... Yeah, 2 basic energy cards, so they do that just for... Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for watching. I will try and build Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, but it's going to take like 300 Battle Styles packs, so it's going to be a little insane. Again, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.